Rucker from the Kroc Center, and today we're going to do a workout that focuses on grip strength. So forearm strength, grip strength, hands, fingers. So we're going to get started in a comfortable stance about hip width apart. You're going to bring your palms out and we're going to do a big shoulder circle. When you can't get any higher, you're going to rotate and come back behind. Just like that, nice and slow. Press back up, rotate, back and down. We're gonna do that 2 more times. So we're just warming up our shoulder joints, trying to get through as much range of motion as we can without pain. And back. Good, 1 more time like that. Up, reach up as far as you can, rotate, come back, and reverse. Very good. Okay, we're gonna warm up our hands and our forearms. So what we're gonna do is bring our hands straight out in front of us, and we're gonna make a fist, and then open out our hands, our fingers as far as you can. We're gonna get a nice burn in those forearms and those fingers. It's okay to feel the burn. We're just warming up the muscles that we're gonna be working. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing with the arms overhead. So open and close the fist. Good. A few more. Okay, and then last one, out to the side. Good, open and close, open and close. Good, this forearm should be burning. Very good. All right, rest that down. We're gonna finish our warm up with a few shoulder rolls. So you're just bringing your shoulders up as far as you can, back as far as you can, press them down and forward. Good, a few times each direction. Now we can switch, back, up, forward, and down, back, up, forward, and down. Very good. Okay, we're gonna start our set with a kettlebell, and I like to use the kettlebell what's called in a bottoms up position, where the weight is distributed above the handle. If you don't have a kettlebell, you can just use a dumbbell or anything that's weighted, but we're gonna do a press overheads with 1 arm at a time. We're gonna do 8 of those, and what this is doing is the way that the kettlebell is weighted is gonna be a little more challenging on the fingers and on the wrist and on the forearms. So if you're not quite ready for this type of hold, you can hold the kettlebell normally, which should be down like this, or you can also use a dumbbell. But if you're able, we'll try to work on strengthening those hands and wrists by doing the bottoms up hold. There we go. Okay, we're gonna do the other hand now. Nice strong stance. Breathe out as you press up and down. Good. If at any point you feel like your shoulders are bothering you, sometimes you can bring that the arm in toward the midline a little bit more like this. That's going to be a little bit easier on your shoulder than, say, doing it out here like that. Okay, and you just do as many repetitions as you're able. I'm doing 8, although I have lost count at this point, but that's probably 8. Okay, we're going to do on the next exercise that we're doing, we're going to do 3 sets of those 2 exercises. All right, our next exercise of the set is going to be hammer curls. Hammer curl just refers to the way that you hold the weight. So a bicep curl, you hold the weights where your knuckles are facing down. Hammer curl, you're holding where your knuckles are facing out. And again, we're just putting a little more emphasis on strengthening the forearms and the biceps in a slightly different way, holding it this way. So we're gonna do about 8 reps of these. Let's do 2 more. I'm the worst at counting, so if you're at home or at work and I have done more than 8, you're welcome to stop at 8. Okay, we're gonna go back and do another set We're gonna do one more set of the presses overhead. So if you have a kettlebell, you can hold it bottoms up like this or like this. Okay, nice strong stance. Breathe out and press and back. Good. 2, 3, 4, 5. Good. We're doing 3 more. 6, 7, and 8. Good. Another way to work up to being able to hold the kettlebell like this is, of course, starting with less weight, but also maybe you do 2 or 3 repetitions with the weight distributed like this, and then maybe you have to switch to a regular kettlebell hold or a dumbbell, and that's fine as well. So it's all about progressing slowly and doing what your body is ready to do. Good. 3 more. 3 and 2. Good. Last one and 1. Okay, we're going to grab the dumbbells for our hammer curls. Okay, nice good posture, knuckles facing out, curl up, and control on the way down. And you can use whatever weight is most comfortable for you. If you're doing 8 repetitions, it doesn't really matter how many repetitions you're doing. I always tell my clients that you want those last couple of repetitions to be challenging, but not so challenging that you lose your form. If you're breezing through them all, you could probably go up in weight if you want to see that strength increase. Good. And we'll do one more. Okay. All right, the next exercise is called a wrist curl. Sounds kind of funny, but you think of it as a bicep curl, but for your forearm. So I like to rest my forearm on my knee, and you're gonna put the wrist right at the edge of that knee. You're gonna take whatever weight you feel comfortable with, and you're gonna curl it up and back down. It's not gonna be a very big movement. With the way that your wrist is, you're not gonna be able to bring those fingers all the way up to the forearm, but you're gonna feel this right in the front of that forearm. And I would suggest a pretty light weight for this. Sometimes people even start with no weight, or they use like a ball just to have something to hold to give a tiny bit of resistance. Okay, when you're finished with that one, you're gonna flip the hand, and we're gonna do the same thing, but we're gonna reverse. So again, it's not a huge movement here. We're bringing those knuckles up and control it on the way down. Good, so this is directly targeting the muscles of the lower arm and also your wrist and hands. Again, if this is a little bit advanced for you, that's totally fine. I'll show you how it looks from the side. So if you wanted to take out the weight altogether, hold the ball. You can start just using your own body weight without extra weight, because it can be challenging even without weight. Okay, that's probably enough. So we'll switch to the other arm. We're gonna curl in and back down. And again, depending on what weight you're using, I'm doing about 8 to 10 repetitions. If you have a lot less weight and you feel like you could do more repetitions, you can do that as well. That's gonna help you build that muscular endurance. Okay, then we're gonna flip it and curl it upwards. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, we'll do 2 more, 9, and 10. Okay? All right, the second exercise in the set is just a weighted rotation. So really all this is doing is working that forearm in a rotational manner. You're also working on the finger and the wrist strength by holding this weight. Because you're not doing any lifting, you're just letting it hang, you can probably handle a little more weight than with the other exercises. I like to tell some clients this is the jar opening practice. And I'm gonna show you a variation that you can do with the dumbbell You can either do it like this, so that weight's gonna feel different because you got weight here now on either side instead of hanging down at the bottom. And if you're really feeling cool, you can grab it like this and turn like an actual jar. Obviously a little more challenging, and it depends on your finger span. Not for everybody, but kind of a more advanced version of that, okay? We'll do the other hand. So just regular stance, twisting from left to right. And you can turn all the way up toward the shoulder joint, or if you want to just focus on the wrist, you can just twist at the elbow and lessen that range of motion here. Okay, and I'll show you again on this side, the variation, back and forth. Good. Really carrying or holding anything that's somewhat heavy to you is going to be helpful in increasing your grip and your forearm strength. I also wouldn't advise this if your hands are sweaty, because we wouldn't want any dumbbells slipping and hitting your feet. Okay, so we're gonna go back to that first exercise. We'll do a second set of the wrist curls, okay? Okay, we're on to the second set of our wrist curls. So again, you're gonna comfortably place that forearm on your leg. You're gonna curl up and back. Good, up and back, up, good. You just go as far as your anatomy allows. And like I said before, feel free to do this without weight or holding a tennis ball or a squishy ball, or you can also be working on finger strength at the same time. Okay, let's flip it. Okay, you can even use this hand to support the wrist if you need to. Good, we're gonna do 8 this way, 6, 7. Again, I apologize if I'm miscounting. 8, okay? And I'll show you from this angle on the other arm. So we're gonna curl up, knuckles facing down toward the ground. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay, we're gonna flip. This side usually feels a little harder than the other way when your knuckles are facing up. And that's okay, you can do less repetitions. Drop the weight. Good. 5, 6, 7, and 8. Okay. All right. The last one of the set is we're back to our rotations. So just for efficiency's sake, we're going to do both at the same time. I'm going to do some with the dumbbell, and then I'll remind you what it looks like with the kettlebell. So we're going to rotate in and out. Good. 2. 3, and 4, 5. Again, use a weight that's challenging, not so that you're going to risk dropping it on your feet, but also enough so that you get a good burn and you feel like you're really increasing the strength of your hands and wrists, forearms. Okay, we'll do 2 more. Turn. Okay, the last thing that I would finish with is I would take something that's quite heavy to you. This is only 10 pounds, it's not heavy at all to me. If I had more at my disposal, I would grab a heavier weight, but really you're gonna just stand with good posture, and you're just gonna hold something heavy in one hand, and I would encourage you to hold that for 30 seconds. So as I'm talking, we're holding something heavy. You can take whatever you were using before, you can find something heavier, but this is gonna work your core because you are fighting to stand up straight while there is something heavy this way. And then of course, just like the rest of our workout, it's gonna be working on that hand strength, okay? So this is not a challenging weight. And it could be for some as you're starting out, but you can even find like a milk jug or a big jug of laundry detergent, anything that's heavy to you. So that's about 30 seconds. We're gonna come on the other side. And we're gonna hold. And again, all you're doing is trying to stay calm. You're trying to keep that upright posture. And another way to make this more challenging is to walk as you hold it. And as you walk, you're trying to keep that good posture. I like to tell my clients, you're acting like you have a suitcase full of liquids that you're trying not to spill. So you want to walk in a controlled way with a somewhat comfortable gait. We got 10 seconds left holding this. And like I said, you can find anything that weighs something around the house or around the office or wherever you are. Okay, that was the end of our exercise. We're gonna do a quick little stretch to cool down. So I want you to show me your palm. You're gonna gently press those fingers down towards your forearm. Feeling the stretch here. Just take a few deep breaths. Don't pull so hard that it's straining or hurting, just enough to feel that stretch. And slowly release that. We're going to reverse that, so knuckles come down. Stretching the other side of our forearm. And just as a reminder, if you have arthritis, say in your wrist or your fingers, this is a workout that you definitely would want to work up to and not put too much on yourself all at once. Give me a few wrist circles. Okay, same thing other side, palm out. Gently press the fingers toward the forearm. Take a few deep breaths. And reverse that. Good, don't tug too hard, just enough to feel a little bit of a stretch in the lower arms. Okay, and a few gentle wrist circles in both directions. All right, deep breath in, reach those shoulders up, and breathe out. Okay, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you soon. Bye.